is a Bramble Jam podcast.
This week on Yo Gavel Gavel, can your older sister make you go to college? Judge Ross is here to figure out this sibling rivalry.
And if you give your friend a vape and it explodes in their pocket, is it your fault? Judge Gino lets us know. Real people.
Real cases. Fake justice. This is
Yo Gavel Gavel. I'm drumming with these houses. They're miniature houses. It's as if someone shrunk these houses down to miniature houses.
Shrunk houses. No,
Go.
All right.
Shrunk houses. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yo Gavel Gavel.
It's been too long.
I'm Judge Brand. I'm here with Judge Dan. How you doing, bud?
Welcome into the chambers.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't think I've ever called you Judge Brand in my life.
I haven't done it before
It's the
either.
first time.
This is a new thing, and I kind of like it. We're Judge.
Time in forever.
Now, guys,
Brand.
it is the Friday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We're off next week for
We are.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy Thanksgiving.
everyone.
And so I want to ask you, Dan, what are you thankful for today?
Judge Brand is who I'm thankful for.
Wow.
Today. I mean, come on. Thanks for being a friend.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thankful
Socks.
for here.
I'm thankful for my socks.
That's fair. Totally
They're
fair.
really cozy today.
Bombas.
Yeah. Just a free shout out to
Promo
them,
code
man.
DECK.
Good stuff. Hey, Dan, tell people about this podcast and kind of what we do here.
Well, each week, Brandon and I, we're big fans of the TV culture.
yeah.
Who isn't? And each week, Brandon and I watch a case. We watch a different case. I don't watch his. He doesn't watch mine. And we get to tell each other about them. That's pretty much the whole thing. We try to guess the verdict. And if you want to listen to this show and every other show that we do here on the Bramble Jam Podcast Network completely ad-free, just go to Bramble Jam Plus.
That's exactly right. And if you have a little bit of a squabble that you want us to weigh in on, we would love to do that. We call it the briefcase. We do those for the people who have subscribed to All Access Bramble Jam. And so email us, Brain at BrambleJamPodcast.com or Dan at BrambleJamPodcast.com. We would love to hear how your life is in shambles. So
No, that's what we're here for.
No, listen, it's little things. Like,
It's the
hey,
little
my husband likes colored lights. I like white lights.
Yeah.
What do we do?
My wife and I had that argument.
Yes.
And you know what we did? We started putting both on the tree, and it's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
love
it
it.
as much as you like it.
I love the both.
But I do like compromise.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
We do both, and it's wonderful.
That's exactly right. You were a colored light person.
Colored light boy.
Yeah, and she's a white light.
And then it was weird. We alternated years when we were married 14 years.
Sure.
We alternated years, and then we're like, the more lights, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, you should not even be able to see any needles. Like that many lights is how many lights I want on a tree.
I'm excited to get our tree this year. We're close.
Yeah.
We're close.
Right around the corner.
I can almost smell it. Is that evergreen?
Ooh.
Hey,
Fraser fir.
I got a Judge Gino. You've got a Judge Ross.
America's Court, baby.
I love Judge Ross. I'd love to hear about this case.
I would love to tell you about this case. Let me tell you about Astrid and Ajax. Little ditty about Astrid and Ajax.
It's Astrid and
Ajax.
Ajax.
That's Ajack, one word, Ajax.
And it's Astrid.
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 Got it.
Astrid. Now, they're both they're brother and sister, Astrid Moore and Ajax Moore Jr. So his dad's name also Ajax.
Ajax Senior said,
Ajax,
"Oh yeah,
yeah.
this is a good name.
Ajax runs in the family.
Double
That's right.
down."
Yeah, so Astrid Moore is suing her younger brother for $1,753 of tuition.
How much? I'm
money? $1,753
Of tuition money.
Tuition money.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get into it. So Astrid says, look, my mom was on permanent disability. My dad was laid off for work. I am established. I work for the post office. I've been working there for years. My younger brother, my parents were about to lose the house. My younger brother was going to be a senior in high school. And so I took him and let him live with me. And he went to high school while he was with me. I told him specifically, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to get a job, but you have to go to school. That's the rule. Judge Ross looks at Ajax and says, is that true? Ajax goes, sort of, Your Honor. She said, you're going to school. You're going to go to school. But she really didn't listen to what I have to say.
Okay.
And Ross says, so it is true. And he says, yeah, it is. She's just very controlling. And he says, but you're in high school. And Ajax says, well, at the time I was in high school, but I have my passions. And Ross says,
Absolutely.
What what do you mean you're passionate? He goes, I'm aspiring to be a professional musician. I want my music to pay the bills.
What type of music?
We never get into it.
We never get into it.
Yeah.
What? Judge Ross, you're losing
Judge Ross says, what does this have to do with you finishing high school? So you're a musician, so what? And he says, well, I mean, I did okay in high school, Your Honor. I mean, I just didn't finish it. Oh, no, he didn't say just because he did finish high school. My bad. I did okay in high school. And then he says this line, which is my key takeaway. He says, but I'm goal orientated. He says, I'm goal orientated. And you know, and Ross goes, well, was graduating high school a goal and did you accomplish it? And he goes, I mean, it was a goal, I guess, and I did accomplish it. And Astrid goes, he was a great student. He graduated high school. He was a great student. We're on the south side of Chicago. We're not in a great neighborhood. I wanted him to stay with me, and our plan was for him to go to college.
Do we know what college?
We don't, but Ross stops and says, stop. I just heard you say our plan. Uh-huh. Now, Ross preaches the rest of this episode, okay? Well, Ross says, I just heard you say our plan. Now, I have 2 sons, and my oldest is starting to get acceptance letters into college, and I have found myself saying, oh, we got in to this college a lot, and that's not true. Sometimes we have to let them, as hard as it is, come into their own.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we got to do that. And Astrid's kind of smiling, but looks a little bit ashamed. And she says, but Your Honor, I know what's out there for black men. That's what she says. Okay. And Ross says, this is bold. And I'm just going to he said this. I did not say this. Ross says, I know what's out there for black men. I have 2 black sons and I'm a black man. The biggest challenge is that oftentimes black women don't allow black men to come into their own. For legitimate, reasonable reasons, for fear of being shot by the police, for being perceived as a thug. Moms tend to baby them and undermine their ability to come into their manhood.
I can't say anything about that.
And the court, the people in the court are like, yeah. And I'm like, wow, it's a lot.
Okay.
And Ajax says, Your Honor, she did baby me some, but really she was just controlling me. She was trying to fulfill her dreams through me. She wanted to go to college. She never went to college. I didn't want to go to college. Astrid said, you're right, I didn't go to college, but college is the ticket. It's the thing. It's where you go. That's what you do. You go. And Ajax says, that's her path. My path is my music. And Ross says, well, right now musicians are starving. Right now musicians are starving. How are you going to pay the bills? And he was like, well, Your Honor, I was going to pay the bills when I got a job doing blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I just don't know about that. And he goes, so did you go to college? He goes, yes, I agreed to go to college. And Astrid said, not only did he agree to go to college, he brought me a note signed, a document signed saying we're going. And she said, no, I didn't bring her that note. She wrote the note. She made me sign it. And Ross says, but you did sign it. He said, yes, Your Honor, I signed it. So the note says,
Astrid wrote a note saying,
it's a promissory note.
Okay.
A promissory note that
saying, I will go.
It says, I, Ajax Moore Jr., agreed to attend, and it was a community college in the area. Sure. We don't know the name. And I'm borrowing the money to do it, $1,753. And upon completion of the semester, with a satisfactory report card, the loan is forgiven. So she was paying as long as he went. That was the rule. So Ross goes back over. Yeah, it's signed. And Ross says back over, he says, okay, did you go to school? He said, I did. He goes, how long did you go? He goes, 1 week. And he says, why'd you stop? Ross says, well, why'd you stop? Ajax says, it wasn't for me. I didn't like the vibe of the school, the teachers I didn't like. Ross said, so you weren't being a man of integrity. Look out.
Okay.
You made this agreement and you violated a critical portion of this agreement.
Promise keeper.
Yes. To go to school. So you are now in breach of contract. Why haven't you given her the money?
It's true.
And Ajax says, well, the contract doesn't stipulate a time frame for me giving her the money. And I clean her house. I watch her kids when she's at work. And at this point, there is a little bit more left, but a lot of it is a full Ross rant. And so I want to make sure that I get all that in, but I'm going to let you go ahead and decide what the ruling is.
Well, I think the ruling will be her getting the money. I mean, it doesn't stipulate. And so if she didn't bring him to court, then by all means take all the time that you need, but she needs her money, and you're not able to give it to her now, and so I'm going to sue you. That all makes sense in my mind, and so give her all the money.
Yeah. So Ross does a little like this is I think what Gary Busey is aspiring to be. What Ross is about to do. Ross says, "So let me tell you something. You want to be a man. You want to be a man, but you're acting like a baby, which makes you a man baby." Which makes you a maybe. You want to be a man, but you're acting like a baby, which makes you a man baby, which makes you a maybe. And Ajax goes, "But Your Honor, I'm trying." And he goes, "No, you're not trying. You're trifling. You're trifling.
Gum, he's doing it today.
You're a maybe.
He's doing it today.
You're trifling. Your sister is trying to hold you accountable. What makes you think that I wouldn't hold you accountable?" And Ajax tries to go into the same spiel. "Your Honor, there wasn't a timeline." He says there wasn't a timeline. And Ross just gives him a full buzzer sound. And then he goes, "But I do these things wrong." He goes, wrong again. You're not paying rent, so you do those things. You've been doing those things. You're not. He goes, "Your Honor, I'm trying to balance my music." He goes, "You're not balancing anything. You're not balancing anything at all. You're not. You have to pay her back that money because here's what's happening. Your sister was babying you. She stopped. She's holding you accountable. And in a few years, you're going to thank your sister for doing that. You owe her every dime of the money. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff."
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think
maybe.
Yeah.
A man baby.
I also don't think, her making him go to college is also babying him. Like, I think
Well, I think there's this weird. I think if you watched it, you could tell she wanted what was best for him.
Absolutely.
But instead of just loving him along the way and letting him make his own mistakes, she tried to force an identity.
But I mean, kudos to her for writing, getting that. That's.
And it's a very reason. All you have to do is finish with passing grades, and your loan's forgiven. Yeah, I'm paying for it.
Which is also how student loans should work.
Oh, I'm on board with that. Brandan 2020.
Hey guys, I think we're out of time at this
2024.
point.
You're not old enough to be president. Dan
I'll
Brand
be vice.
2024.
I'll be vice.
Yeah, Dan Brand.
But all the good ideas, just so guys, all the good ideas come from me. Dan's just the face and the age.
But you would at that point still owe some student loans.
No.
Oh, you finished the semester.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Everything's good.
Okay.
No loans here.
Great.
Debt free, baby.
I didn't say you had student loans. I'm saying in your case, if you didn't finish school, then you would owe the loans. That's the way it would work under your plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Or if you failed.
Fail or don't finish.
Yes.
I like it. Gavel, gavel.
All right, guys. Now that we got that out of the way, let's take a quick break. We'll come back to Judge Gino Personal Injury Court.
So excited.
Vape pens exploding. We'll be right back here on Gavel, Gavel.
Gavel, gavel.
Welcome back, everybody. Yo, Gavel, Gavel. It's time for my case. We're going to Judge Gino, one of my faves.
Oh, he's so great.
Go to Personal Injury Court, also one of my faves, because the stakes are all the way up here. I want to introduce you to a couple people. The plaintiff, her name is Linda Michael. Linda Michael is suing her friend, Amy Sullivan, for a total amount of $345,000.
It never ceases to amaze me how much money we're talking in these courts.
To break that down a little bit, it's $75K for past injuries, $20K for future, medical expenses, and $250 for pain and suffering.
Wow, big pain and suffering number.
Big pain and suffering number. So they're friends, okay? Yep. They go out to dinner one night. They're having a wonderful time. They're walking back to the car, and Amy takes out her vape pen.
Yep.
Gives a little...
Got it.
One of those numbers.
Yeah.
Linda, apparently never seeing a vape pen before, goes, "Well, that smells good." Likes the smell. Says, "Hey, can I try?" Amy
never had a vape pen.
Never had a vape pen.
Okay.
She was interested in the smell. Now, this isn't super important, but Linda is a good bit older than Amy.
Okay.
Amy seems like she's in her late 20s. Linda seems like she's maybe
40.
In her 50s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So older, more like a mother-like figure.
Gotcha.
Okay. She takes the puff. She likes it. She says, "Hey, can I have this?" And Amy says, "No, you cannot have this. Just got this one. It's new, but I do have this older one. It's in my car. I'll give it to you when we get there." And Linda says, okay, sounds great. So they get back to the car, and the vape pen is plugged in. It's charging, because that's what you do to the vape pens.
Yeah.
Takes it off, hands it to Linda, and Linda notices this one is warm to the touch. Amy says, hey, so I don't know if I would use this one anymore. Like it's a little bit it's wonky sometimes. It gets warm if it charges. It sometimes just doesn't work. You can have it if you want to. We can go get your own. And so what Linda does is Linda tries it. It works. She says, okay, this one's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And she is just all in on the vaping after not have done it ever. Just
Yes.
like, this is that slippery slope that your mom warned you about right here. This is it.
Try it once.
Hey, can I try that? And next thing you know, you're just dead in a ditch
Next thing you know, your pants
It's
explode.
unbelievable.
So she tries it. It's good to go. It cools down enough for her to put it in her pocket.
Okay.
She puts it in her pocket, and it explodes.
Okay.
Her pants catch on fire.
What?
The car gets filled with smoke. Amy's driving. Amy crashes into a pole.
Oh my gosh.
The airbags go. Amy in court has, marks all over her face. So this seems to be relatively fresh, or they did it in makeup. It's
But
hard
it was
to
in
say.
Linda's pocket.
It was in Linda's pocket,
Okay.
but they both crashed.
I got you.
There's a fire explosion,
From her
Dan,
pants.
From her pants, her left pants. So the pant that is closest to Amy, the driver.
So, okay, but Amy's suing Linda.
No, Linda is suing
Okay,
Amy.
got it.
Okay,
Cool.
So Linda is like, my pants caught on fire. I'm trying to get it out. I'm hitting it with my hand because it's the only thing I could think to do. My hand is all burnt up. It's messed up. She does have it wrapped up in court. She also has a thing right here. We don't really get into that, but finally there's a jacket that's in the car, and they're able to get it out. So, car crash, pants on fire, liar, liar.
Liar, liar.
And Linda is saying this is all Amy's fault. This is Amy's fault. She owes me this money because she knew it was defective and gave it to me anyways. Amy says, I didn't know that it would explode. I didn't know it would explode. I'm not a crazy person.
She did say, specifically, she said, hey, this one, it's a little wonky.
She said it's a little wonky.
Okay.
So, we talked to Amy a little bit. Amy's like, I loved Linda. Linda, after my mom died, she became kind of like a second mother to me. I loved her. Also, I'm in the car with her. Why would I give her something that I would think would explode while I'm in the car with her? I didn't know. I would never have done that. I also told her this one's a little wonky. I said all the things that I felt like I was supposed to. This isn't my fault. Now, Gino asks how they met, if you care.
I'd love to hear.
They met. They were both bank tellers about 5 years ago, and they grew close.
Hit it off.
They hit it off. Mother-daughter type situation. Now, Gino asked about the pain and suffering from Linda. Linda is asking for $250,000 worth of pain and suffering, and Linda says, "Judge, my leg caught on fire." There's a lot that happens because of that. I've had to have, basically like the
Skin
type
grafts?
of skin grafts. My husband has to give me sponge baths every day.
Wow.
There's a lot that goes into your leg catching on fire.
Yeah.
We see a picture of her leg after it, and it is an ordeal. It is a lot. Okay. So Gino asked Amy if the pen ever had issues aside from it not working sometimes and being warm sometimes. And she says, no, never any issues aside from that, such as exploding. But I told her all of those issues. So now it comes down to the charging. Okay.
Yep.
The pin was on the charger in the car.
Yep.
Linda brings the instructions that come with the vape pen that give you the instructions of how to charge this device. A couple of things about charging this device. One, don't leave it plugged in overnight.
Okay.
Amy did that.
In the car?
Yeah.
And it's charging in the car?
It's charging in the car.
Juicing the battery?
Yes. Overnight. Two, don't use more than 4 volts,
Okay.
I believe. Car charger, I guess, is 5 volts.
Okay.
So it's over wattage. essentially. Other random stuff. And at the bottom of it, it says overcharging the pin creates risk of explosion. Okay. Says it
on the
instructions. Now, Amy says a couple of things. One, no one reads instructions.
Okay.
2, everyone leaves these plugged in.
Yeah.
And 3, who knows the voltage of their car charger?
Yeah.
Those are her arguments.
Okay.
And Judge Gino is ready to rule.
So I tend to agree with Amy here. I think if she's had this isn't the first time she's charged the vape pen in her car, clearly. It's not like she happened to charge it to give it to her friend. She told her friend it was acting wonky. She did everything she knew how to do. She can't possibly be held responsible. I don't think there's any intent. This is just bad luck. It's just a dumb accident. It's bad luck. I don't know how Linda's getting any money here. I mean, I feel bad for her, but I can't imagine there's anything. It's not like something went wrong with her car that caused them to wreck. This is a vape pen that was used, that she told her was used, and Linda chose to take it anyway. I just think the entire onus of this is on Linda. I don't think Linda gets any money.
Now, here's what Judge Gino says. It's coming down to that legal sauce.
Sauce, yeah.
Typically, when you give somebody something and it harms them, unless you knew it was going to do that thing, that's not your fault. Amy also gave warning of wonkiness.
That's right.
And Linda took it. So also, Amy's doing all the right things. Now, here's the situation, though. All of that gets thrown out when you don't read the instructions.
What?
When you don't read the legal warnings,
oh my gosh,
that then makes it your responsibility if you don't do what it says. This is a result of something that the instructions said don't do. Because of that, she was acting recklessly and
she was negligent.
And Gino is awarding Linda the entire $345,000.
Wow. Boy, I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming either.
I didn't see it coming.
Who knew instructions were such a big deal?
I know they have to put those disclaimers on there.
I thought it was to cover them, the company.
Yeah, but it's the carryover.
It's the carryover.
Apparently it's
That's brutal.
The gift receiver. That's unreal.
So by that logic, let's follow this down. So I buy a gun, Dan, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it comes with, I've never bought one. I'm sure it comes with instructions such as don't shoot yourself.
Yeah, that's a bad example.
Okay, but let's just follow this. Okay. If I let you borrow the gun and then you shoot yourself accidentally.
I could blame you.
Because the safety wasn't
there was still no care there.
Let's talk about let's get a better example.
Let's say that I have a space heater that I use at home, and the instruction specifically said that it doesn't need to be plugged into a certain outlet that I plugged it into, or maybe an extension cord that I plugged it into, and that's all the way I used it. And then I gave it to you to use to heat up your house, and then it caught on fire. I could be held liable according to Judge Gino. I cannot believe that.
According to the law.
According to the law. I just
legal
don't know.
sauce.
I don't know, Gino. I need another new reading of this law. I love you, Gino. I just don't know. I don't know.
$345,000.
It's a lot of money.
The thing that I don't understand about this case. Is there any way we can
get into personal injury court?
I mean, we can. I'm sure we can
give
squabble.
It a go. Yeah.
The thing I don't know about this one, like in all the other small claims ones, like $1,700.
Yeah.
The TV show pays for it. I can't imagine the production company paying.
I think that this is
out.
There's some insurance. Like there's some sort of insurance that the TV show has. Like they take out policies on these things. That's the only way it makes sense. There's not a daytime TV show that can just shell out $500,000 for an episode on top of all the production costs.
It's crazy.
There's no way. They have a policy of some sort.
It blew me away, and it blew her away because her pant caught on fire.
Yeah, liar, pants on fire.
It was crazy, man. And apparently this happens a good bit. Gino said that this case was the third case that month that he had of exploding vape pens.
It's wild.
So I think the moral of the story is don't do it.
It's time for you to give it up, Brandon.
Time for I love it though. It smells good. It smells good. Jewel. I'm not for them, but if you want to do it, then just know You're going to explode. We did it, everybody. We're off next week. I hope you guys have such a good
happy Thanksgiving.
If you need something to listen to, go over to Deck the Hallmark. We got stuff coming out every day next week. And then the following week, we really dive into those Thanksgiving films. And we're having episodes every day for, I think, 2 weeks. And so it really gets away from us quick. So go ahead, go to deckthehallmark.com, subscribe to that if that's something that you're into. Also next week, while we're talking about our podcast, back to Bayside, the Saved by the Bell reboot premieres next Wednesday, I believe. Yeah. And we are having a special Wednesday edition of Back to Bayside that comes out that day to cover that episode, the reboot. We're very excited about it. So if Saved by the Bell is your jam, go ahead and subscribe to Back to Bayside so you don't miss that. That's all that I have. Anything you got?
That's all.
We did it, everybody. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next week. Until then, all rise.
Yo Gabble Gabble's a Bramble Jam podcast recorded live in Greenville, South Carolina at the Bramble Jam Podcast Network Studios. It's produced by Brandon Gray. For more information, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com/gabble.